What's up, y'all? It's Ty in this video. Today, we're going to be going over talking about our top 10 shooting guards right now in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Now, I do want to say there's some really good shooting guards that didn't make the list. Why? It's because, I could only really rank the top of the top, right? And so I could only rank the elite of the elite. And there might be some guys that I leave off the list that you guys might love. Like, I'm just going to tell you straight up, I did not put Brandon Ingram on the list. I have not used Brandon Ingram. I played against Brandon Ingram one time, and he wasn't that good. So, until somebody shows me with Brandon Ingram, I'm not going to gas the card because he's so rare anyways. Like, it's not what I do. But anyways, it's my list. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the video, and as we do dive into it, please smash that subscribe button. Also, I do want to say, when we get to, some guys I might, never mind. Let's just dive into it, okay? At number 10, Jarrett Culver. 110% not worth getting, okay? Just got to let that be known. If you got Jarrett Culver, I feel bad for you. But at the end of the day, I do need to respect what he does. 6'6", 93 ball, decent driving dunk, decent speed. Jarrett Culver based on very quick is extremely good. Devin Booker dribble style, pro 3 leaner is fine. Like, Jarrett Culver objectively is extremely good. If you got the card, you probably honestly like him, but he's just insanely expensive. And so I can't tell you guys that Jarrett Culver is worth getting when he's, 700,000 MT. Like, you can downgrade the event tokens to 700,000 MT instead of getting Jarrett Culver. It's ridiculous. It's sad, but it's the way it is. Jarrett Culver still really solid, coming in at my number 10. At my number 9, a card I still think is underrated. It's Dark Matter Scottie Pippen. There's a lot of people that don't like this card. I don't know why. Like, when I look at this card, he's elite, guys. He plays defense. He knocks down shots. He's 6'8". What is there not to like about him? 92 3 ball. Good speed. Great defense. Release-wise, sure, you could wish it was on very quick, but I still think it's just fine. I think people just hate to hate. I get the card has been out a while. I get the card might not be as exciting as some of the newer options. I get all that. But at the end of the day, if you're running Scottie Pippen, you've got a really good shooting guard that deserves respect. Scottie Pippen, an absolute stud at that shooting guard position. At my number 8, Dark Matter Ron Artest. This card's weird to me, guys. Whatever they did with his release, the Fultz base, I don't know if I like it. Like, I just don't. And I've played, and it's more so when I've played against Ron Artest, it's like people try shooting with him, and it's just gross. It's like, what did 2K do to the release that Ron Artest had? All they had to do is speed it up. They didn't have to give him the Markelle Fultz base. They didn't this year. All they had to do was speed the release of Ron Artest up, and nobody would have said a word. Instead, they tried getting weird with it. They tried getting the Markelle Fultz base on very quick, and I just don't know if I love it. Yes, he has hot spots forever. Yes, defensively, he's still elite. That's why he's on this list. But I just got to let it be known that I just don't know if I'm the biggest fan of the release that Ron Artest does have. Coming in at my number 7, I think this card's underrated. Galaxy Opal Ricky Davis. I think this card is so good and so underrated, and I don't understand why more people aren't running him and more people aren't talking about him. Let's dive into it. He's 6'7", 94 3 ball, 96 speed, defensively solid. Like, he's got solid defensive stats. His release, I think, is extremely good. A lot of people maybe not like it. It's kind of, I feel like the Oscar upper is maybe a little weird, and a lot of people can't agree with it, but I think it's fine. The normal leaner on very quick, I think, is fine. The Garland dribble style, I think, is good. And so it's just like, why are people not hyping up Ricky Davis? He's 6'7" at the 2. He comes with a great release. His movement is good, and defensively, the card's elite as well. Why do people not hype this card up more? I don't know. He's a buyable shooting guard on this game that can compete at literally the very highest level. If you're not hyping up Ricky Davis, you are ultimately missing out on the card. The card is that good on this game. Coming in at my number 6, we're plugging in Galaxy Opal Paul George, 6'8", 6'11" wingspan, hot spots from everywhere, 17 Hall of Famers. The card's extremely good. The main complaint here is Pink Diamond Paul George is the same card. I agree, right? Hot spots are a little different, but I agree. So plug in Pink Diamond Paul George if you want right here as well. But good 3 ball, good speed, good release. Release on normal. Yeah, you wish it was on quick or very quick. Everybody obviously does. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Paul George is still really, really good and still can play at a really high level on this game. I think Paul George is a card that if people use, they obviously really like him. His defense is off the charts good. Just a really solid card in this game. I know he came out nearly 2 months ago, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he is still extremely good. Coming in at my number 5, we're plugging in both Brandon Roys. Like, sure, is one better than the other? Sure. I mean, obviously, this Brandon Roy, I think, is slightly better. Sees that release on very quick, which just helps out a little bit more. But B-Roy is basically kind of, in my opinion, a better version of Jarrett Culver, right? Like, the cards you could say are relatively similar, and I agree with that. But I think the cards are relatively similar. So, like, again, when you're looking at, who to pick up for your squad, I would just take into consideration the fact that, yes, Brandon Roy sees that release going very quick. I actually think Brandon Roy is an underrated defensive player, but I think he's one of the best offensive shooting guards on this entire game. Coming in at my number 4, Julius Erving. And so I went ahead and plugged in everybody where they belong. I think this helps everybody see exactly where we are at here. So Dr. J coming in at my number 4. I think the main problem, the main complaint I have with Dr. J is I just want that release to be sped up. We've seen guys that get sped up releases. Dr. J's hotspots aren't the best either. I still do like Dr. J. He's still 6'7". He's still going to play incredibly good defense. I'm just to the point where I just think there are better options at this stage than Dr. J. A lot of people might disagree. A lot of people still might have Dr. J in their top 3. I just think at this stage, there are still better options. To me, I like Dr. J's release. His movement's good. He dunks the ball incredibly well. I just think there are better options. Coming in at my number 3, we've got Jerry Stackhouse. A lot of people might get mad at me for putting him this high, but I think Jerry Stackhouse deserves it. Let's look at the card and let's break down why I personally am so high on Jerry Stackhouse. Yes, only 6'6", 6'8" wingspan. He sees hot spots forever, right? Compare that to Dr. J. Way better there for Jerry Stackhouse. 96 3 ball, 96 speed, defensively perfect, badge-wise, better than Dr. J. Again, and I'm not just wanting to compare him side by side to Dr. J because there's obviously a lot of other things that go into it, but a lot of people are probably mad that I didn't put Dr. J higher. So then let's check out the animations. AJ Lawson, Benedict Mathurin, upper on very quick. Such a good release. D-book dribble style, normal leaner. I mean, tell me how Jerry Stackhouse isn't that good. Like, the card is literally so good on this game. The only problem with Jerry Stackhouse is that the card is insanely expensive. Like, that's the main problem I see, is he is just so expensive, to get the card, and he's just maybe not worth the ultimate price. But Jerry Stackhouse is so good. And if you're disrespecting Jerry Stackhouse at this point of the game, I'm just going to tell you, you're flat out wrong. Jerry Stackhouse is the real deal. Coming in at my number 2 is the 100 overall Vince Carter, who you still can't plug him into a lineup. You still got to, search by updates to find him. But I'm telling you right now, Vince Carter is the real deal. A lot of people, some people, I should say, not a lot of people, don't like Vince Carter. Some people say, oh, Ty, he's hard to play with. I mean, give me a break. 30 Hall of Famers, max defense, Patty Mills, Oscar upper on quick. What are we talking about here? Pro 2 leaner. If you can't play with Vince Carter, I don't know how to help you. Like, he is the real deal on this game. And again, if you don't see that, I think at the end of the day, it's a you problem. This card is so good, so elite on this game. Get your stops defensively. Offensively, got to be one of the better shooting guards on this list. And like I've mentioned, if I had Vince Carter, I would be cooking people with him. Coming in at my number 1, the new Carmelo Anthony. Right? The 100 overall Carmelo Anthony has to be put at number 1. Now, again, is he worth getting? Is he worth getting over the MT, all that stuff? I don't think so. Is Carmelo Anthony incredibly good? Yes. Right? And honestly, part of what makes him good is this duo with Hakeem Warrick. It doesn't make Melo much better. It does give him a couple legend badges, but it makes Hakeem Warrick really good, and it just improves the value of Melo. Melo, again, 100 overall. So stat-wise, it's no surprise. He's going to have 99 everything stat-wise. I mean, you guys don't need me to tell you that. Animation-wise, Cam Thomas, Oscar upper on very quick. Sign me up for that. It's basically the same release as Michael Beasley has. Steph Leaner, I think, is kind of troll. Fox dribble style is kind of troll. But he's a 6'7" shooting guard that has the Cam Thomas release that is going to play great defense, nearly max defense. That, again, if you run this Hakeem Warrick duo, it makes Hakeem Warrick so good who is already good. And so if you're running Melo at the 2, run Hakeem Warrick at the 3, you're going to have a squad that is moving and grooving. And I just think Melo is the most complete shooting guard in the entire game. Now, again, a lot of people are irritated that they changed Melo Sigs. I mean, look, they tried to update the Sigs to make him, at least release-wise, incredibly good. I feel like 2K doesn't have a good grasp on dribble Sigs right now because I feel like they're trolling, giving people random dribble Sigs. But these are my top 10 shooting guards right now in the entire game. And I think 3 all the way down really through 8, you could have those guys anywhere, right? I think a lot of people would have Stackhouse lower, you know, a guy like Ricky Davis or even a, you know, Brandon Roy higher. But I think that this list is good. I think it's solid. And honestly, I think it's fair. That's going to wrap it up. Drop a like on the video, guys. Subscribe if you are new. And as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.